Oh, reasonable. Yeah, beautiful. It was black.
It was black. Oh yeah.
It was black and 1927 Oldsmobile. And I never had it. I had it while Brian was in the army. He didn't know that till many months later. Then he said, "No wonder it won't go properly." It was plenty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd do 60, 70 mile an hour. Well, the brakes had to be good to stop you. The car I got familiar with was a 1926. It was an Oldsmobile too. Brian got it somewhere, I forget where. But I lost it.
Right.
Because the damn thing was breaking down all the time. When he got leave, he'd come home and then he'd go back.
Did he talk much about the war?
No.
No? That's pretty common, isn't it, for blokes to go to the war?
I don't know, I suppose it was, but I didn't realise what he was doing, but he was talking to me when no one else was around.
Oh, yeah.
In other words, keep out of this, Mum.
Right. He didn't recommend going?
No. But when he went away to New Guinea, Lae, whatever it is, Lae.
Malay?
Yeah.
Yep.
And he also went all over the place in New Guinea. Yeah, I had a BSA.
Oh, right.
A Beezer, they used to call it.
Yeah? How many cc's?
500. But it was side valve.
Oh, right. What does that mean?
That means the valves were side valves.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, there was two types, like side valve and overhead valve. And the overhead valve was much better motorbike, but side valve was much more reliable, and but it wouldn't go as fast.
Did you used to work on it yourself? You used to fix it and tune it and all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
And swearing at it.
I bet you did.
They never booked me, but they did. They booked Harry.
What did you get booked for?
Not having a helmet.
Oh. Okay.
Not wearing it. I think he had one and didn't wear it. I bought it on the never finished paying on these. They used to call them the never. Oh yeah, we used to go to the races.
Oh, right.
Up at Bathurst.
What sort of races?
Motorbike.
Ah.
And
up at Mount Panorama?
Yeah.
Oh.
All had special motorbikes. I couldn't race with them.
Right.
Because I had first of all side valve and overhead valve. It's built for racing. But I went to Bathurst once or twice.
Do you remember going on any long trips?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
You know, you remember Harry O'Brien?
I remember you talking about him. I don't think I ever met him.
Well, Harry and I went on the motorbike up to Armidale. We had the job before we left, and it was pretty good. And we looked like the natives. We were that brown.
Oh. What was the job you did up there?
Oh, harvest, wheat harvest.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was good too. But, by this time we were used to the sun.
How old were you then?
About 20. Yeah.
Was that before you met Mum?
Oh yeah. Not very long before. Mum liked the motorbike. Well, she said she did, but she looked a different colour once we stopped. She went fairly often.
Did she lean over when you went around the corners, or did she pull away?
I had to stop and tell her. We'd go to Sydney or somewhere. We looked at the Harbour Bridge and all them sort of things. You know.
Oh yeah.
I don't think she come from Condobolin, and she never saw the bridge before. And you know Harry Newton?
No.
Later years he used to run a weekly dance, 2 every week.
Right. And you used to go dancing with Mum?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah. Sort of. Who was the one who couldn't dance? You or her?
Not me.
You could dance, you reckon?
Yeah.
Good on you.
Football.
Rugby league?
Yeah, well, that's the only type of football I know. I knew.
Mm-hmm.
I'd play football and then dance, you know. And, yeah, it was a good time. I had a reputation as a good fullback.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Husey, wake up to yourself, you can't play football or something like that. I didn't take any notice of them because I know I was the best. About the 3rd year it started to get on my nerves. I told him to go to buggery. And the fullback in those days stayed back and acted like he was full. We won 1 comp.
Yeah.
It was good fun.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. But I played a few years, I don't know how many years I played, and I was growing up then and I was getting bigger. Because after 2 or 3 years I was an established fullback.
Uh-huh.
And I just stayed there as a fullback. One thing I like about it, that blokes get broken legs and broken arms and all that stuff. I never got anything. And I got a few sprains and things like that, as a fullback, yeah, you get a lot of tackles. 10 tackles a game.
Oh, yeah.
Because you get plenty of them as fullback, you know. Yeah, I was about the best in Penrith.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the first serious job was Bill Sims.
Oh, right.
He owned a shirt factory and he lived out in Mulgoa Road, and I was a cutter. And a guinea a week was 21 shillings a week. Well, Marion was the closest to me in age. She's about, I think, 18 months older than me. And I knew everybody she knew, and she knew everybody I knew. She'd tell Mum they were going, and that probably would be the end of it. Mum would say, no, you're not. She kept everything, you know, posted up on the bedroom wall or somewhere like that, so we could all see all, but not all of them. He probably did some things he shouldn't have done. But, he married Eric Dengate. She wasn't strict or anything like that, and she was with Marion. She's the only girl and 4 boys. So. Dad, engine driver, steam engines. Mm-hmm. Well, they all drove steam engines. He got a nice reference when he finished work. That was pretty early in his life, I suppose. But yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. She lived in Durnwell Street with the O'Shea family, and then Mrs. O'Shea was Joyce's mother's sister. She lived at Condobolin, and it's a bit far to go to visit her. You got to come home before you get there. I played football, and she barracked for me. I thought I was just the aunt's pants. So we lived in a flat. We were just a part of a house. About 6 months we lived there. Joyce went back home a couple of times. I was too hard to get on with, she reckoned. We shifted Castle Hill. Yeah, that's right. Well, she left the job to look after the kids. Or a kid, Terry.
Yeah. You remember him when he was little?
Yeah, cranky little bugger, you know. Yeah. But he was entirely different when we moved. He went to school at Castle Hill, got on well with the kids. Greg went to school at Penrith, because we moved back to Penrith in those days. We averaged 1 a year.
Right.
I wanted them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. What was it about having all those kids that you liked?
You get more endowment. It was hard. Mum got a bit cranky because of being on her own. She didn't mind the kids, but being on her own when we were at Castle Hill, and of course we didn't know very many people at Castle Hill, not for a while anyhow.
And then, so you decided to move to Penrith at some stage, when Peter was a little baby, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was born, I think, at Castle Hill. 4 or 5 years at Castle Hill. Couldn't just move like people do now, because, well, Housing Commission was established, and that made a big difference. We got a house almost straight away. There, Rawson Avenue it was.
You all right?
Yeah, oh, I'm all right. Yeah, well, if you don't want Mum to know, you better not mention it.
No, she knows already.